It also has heroism, and it has a little bit of seduction, and it has parental love, the love of a father for his child. It takes place on January 31st, 2001. It was my birthday, 28th birthday. Also, if you live around here, you might remember that January of 2001 was the biggest ice storm in anyone's memory. It was amazing. I remember standing right outside the porch and hearing crack, and then this amazing sound of these limbs falling, and then another crack and limbs falling. And it was the heroism opportunity because they were falling in the road. And so people were trying to come home from work, and they couldn't get through. So much to the chagrin of my wife, I was out in the road hauling these branches out of the road so people could get home. My 10-year-old son was also there with me. I had a child at 17. And so, grinning ear to ear, we're in sleet, it's just coming down. And we're hauling these gigantic limbs that look like trees out of the way, and people are honking and waving and thanking us. It was absolutely amazing. Wonderful act of heroism. Well, that act of heroism earned me the flu. And the flu, for me, was the worst flu I'd ever had. My nose was like a faucet. It was running and dripping, and I was coughing, and I had fever and chills, and it was my birthday. And we had no power. We had no power for 13 days. So we had no power, but we had a fire. I was wrapped up in blankets, a growing pile of Kleenexes, and my wife was there. And my wife was very much a Martha Stewart archetype. She had all of this creative love and energy, and she poured it into her words, her poetry, making a beautiful home, her soup, just absolute art. I also had a lot of creative energy, and I mainly poured that into physical touch. It's kind of my love language. So we were often like two ships in the night, where I was wanting to express my love in one specific way, and she was pouring and channeling her love into other ways that were not quite so physical as mine. This actually worked out pretty well, because I had decided after having a child at age 17 that I really didn't want to have another child, that I was kind of done. So it worked out okay. But that night, unlike any other night that I'd ever seen, this Martha Stewart was replaced by some vixen that I had never seen. Now, I was sitting here huddled up with my Kleenexes, my nose running. We were cold, and she wouldn't leave me alone. She was all over me, and I was just trying to stay awake and trying to enjoy my birthday and realizing this is the birthday of my dreams, and I couldn't stay awake and present for it. I don't know if it was the fire, I don't know if it was the candles that she had lit to make everything beautiful, but it was the most amazing night of being desired that I'd ever had. And so I rallied. And this lovemaking was so wonderful and beautiful, and it was like magic, and this most intense moment comes. And then right before her, she stops. And she says, "Oh my God, I just had vision of these hands coming down out of the sky, holding a baby." She said, I think if we continue, we're going to make a baby." And any other night, I would have said, no way. I don't know if it was the fire. I don't know if it was the candles. I don't know if it's just I was so beaten down by the flu that my defenses were down. But I heard myself saying, that would be okay. And we had this most amazing, wonderful evening. And my daughter, who knew me well enough to know what it would take to be able to come through to meet me, spent the next 9.5 months courting me from the belly of her mother. We had a doula who had these wonderful little tiny baby dolls that were showing at 4 months in utero, this is how big it is. And in 6 months, this is how big. I tried to buy them because I wanted to keep them in my pocket. So when people said, "Hey, how are you doing?" I could say, "Oh, my daughter's this big." I loved being an expectant father. There's something that happens for a dad who has a daughter on the way. Some new room in my heart opened up. I was continually surprised at the love that was there and the purity, because I'd loved women for a long time, and I'd always loved the feminine, but this was different. This was totally different. It wasn't all confusing like I usually love women. So it was really wonderful. I got to love a girl, and it was sweet and beautiful. And so 9.5 months later, in our home, where we had arranged for the midwife to show up, and she didn't show up, which was amazing, I got to catch my daughter. Now, her mom did all the heavy lifting, but I got to catch my daughter. And when I caught her and she came into my hands, another room opened up in my heart that I just had no idea. And so my daughter, who, I don't know who arranged it all, but somehow through this illness, through the acts of heroism, through the vixen that arrived, that came through her mother in a way that had never before or since been seen. Allowed her to come into my life. And so I am greatly, greatly honored and thankful for January 31st, 2001, my favorite birthday present, my daughter's conceived.